I've said it before, I'll say it again. I consider it Imagineering malpractice that you have a park that celebrates animals and you've just decided to get rid of dinosaurs.
Right. Yeah.
I think that is Imagineering malpractice at its finest example.
Finest, yeah.
Or lack of finest.
No, it's
at its core.
It's core.
Yeah.
Dumb idea. Now, I'm sure they'll come up with some kind of homage or something like that, but I mean...
Yeah.
You know what the homage will be? They're just going to leave CTX on the back of the rollers. Yay, Gedge, you know what CTX used to be?
Well, isn't Indy after some mythical animal and that's how they're tying it together?
I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
something like that.
Oh, wow.
And...
Hi, this is Flick, and you're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast with Kevin, Danny, Eli, and Rachel.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast. They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sana, everyone. You're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana. And on this show, we invite you to feel the libation.
Feel it, feel it.
We are artistic buffs and not artistic cream puffs. This is a show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. With all the recent closures at Walt Disney World, we take a second to discuss which of the departing attractions we will miss the most of all. And look, this isn't your typical polish, practice, pixie dust, and Disney podcast. No way. We are not at the Disneyland Resort every day letting you know that a new Captain America Shield Sipper is now available in Avengers Campus.
Oh, how does that work? Do you just turn the shield upside down? And
No, apparently
No, it's like on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the backside. And it's
the backside of sippers?
the backside, yeah.
Yeah, the backside of the sipper is the cup.
Well, it's
yeah.
just a brave
But you
new
can
world
wear
out
it
there,
like a
isn't it?
backpack, like Captain America. It's interesting.
Oh, you can fly it too? It comes out with wings?
Well, I'm curious to know if I can throw it and have it come back to me full again.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That's what I
It
want.
looks kind of small to me, though. Like, I wanted it to be bigger.
Oh,
Yeah.
But I guess it would be kind of annoying to bring that, like, if it was big, it would be annoying to
Well,
bring
that
it
and your
up.
soda would go flat too, I assume,
Yeah,
throughout the
that's
course
true,
of the
that's
day.
true.
Well, you can't have that.
And that's what we're here to do, Kev. We're just here to drink, talk some Disney, and tell you which Disney attractions mark for termination we're going to miss the most in 2025.
Wow. And then you listeners have the easy part. All y'all have to do is to listen up to what we think up while we drink up.
My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
I'm Eli.
And I'm Rachel.
And look, the easiest way to support us is to book your next vacation with Rachel. Also, you can leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts and wherever you access our show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode of the Magic Our Way podcast. Also, we want to thank our Patreon supporters for all that they do for us. All right, y'all. So enough of our jibber jabber. Let's talk about the things we're going to miss the most. Welcome to the Hub, the big topic segment of our show. And for this Hub, we discuss which closed or closing attractions we will miss the most. We choose from a curated list of recent closures from 2024 through 25 into 26. And we kind of order them in, the preference of which we're going to miss from the most to the least.
Right.
Kind of a thing.
1 being the most, 6 being the least.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. And the attractions we are going to choose from are as follows. The Frontierland Shooting Arcade, It's Tough to Be a Bug, MuppetVision 3D, The Boneyard, Dinosaur, Tom Sawyer's Island, and just for giggles and to be complete, I'm going to throw in Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy, Dinoland USA, or Dino-Rama.
Dinorama. Chester and Hess's Dinorama?
Yeah, just because we talked about it last show on 563, make sure you guys check it out. But I don't think that's anybody's top 6, right?
No, it's not going to make my top 6.
I know, so we can, is that comfortable? So we can just nix those and just assume we're all in agreement that that's like 7 and 8.
Yeah, that's bad with the fossils.
Yeah, this is things that we will miss.
Yeah.
You're not going to miss Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy?
I don't
It
think
was an experience.
No.
Such a cool
I'm actually looking forward to this villain show.
But anyway, so we're going to start with, I guess we'll start with our number 6.
Number 6.
And work our way up to number 1 thing that we're going to miss.
Okay.
And I got to credit Danny for putting this together. So, all right. So number 6.
My number 6 was Tom Sawyer's Island.
Oh, yeah? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, number 1, I'm a naturally tall person. So even when I was younger and more flexible. I still couldn't fit in any of those little rooms.
So this has nothing to do with the books that this island is based upon. And
I was trying to be nice.
okay.
I was trying to be really nice and focus on the attraction itself.
You
And
know,
not the past references of what it occurred.
Not whitewashing no fences.
I would try. I'm not woke enough. I still sleep till 5:30 in the afternoon, but no.
Oh, 5:30 is not the afternoon. I'm going to jump in with Eli. That was the number 6 on my list too, but really only because I've never been there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I probably should have tried to make an effort, but every time I'm just kind of like, it looks pretty. I've seen walkthroughs on YouTube and stuff. There's nothing that compels me to go over there.
Wow. Really?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised.
I don't know what compels you to go over there.
Well, I guess it's the promise of the unknown, and then you get there, and then you can't wait to get back.
Yeah.
It's like you look across the water and you see that island, and it's a beautiful backdrop with the Liberty Bell paddling by and everything, and it's like, wow, what awaits me on that island? And you get there, and not a whole lot.
It went from the unknown to I should have known.
But to be fair, it's more of a play area for children than it is for adults. Kind of like the Boneyard, as we were talking about before.
Yeah.
So for that reason, my number 6 was the Frontierland Shooting Gallery.
I figured you would.
Yeah.
say that. Yeah.
Like, I love it, but it's... You ever seen The Big Lebowski?
Yeah.
To me, the Frontierland Shooting Gallery, it's like the dude's rug. It really tied Frontierland together. It gave you a bit of that shoot 'em up, outlaw violence from the Old West.
Yes.
While still being family friendly enough to be next to singing bears. But you walk by it, most people walk by it and didn't even realize it was there.
That's fair. It was a hidden gem almost.
It was.
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything that if I didn't do on my Disney vacation, it would have ruined it.
Understood.
Right. So that is why I kind of put it at the one I missed the least. But like I said, it did really tie Frontierland together.
I really thought you were going with Tom Sawyer as well. But
okay. So that'll be my number 5 when we get to it. Now, I guess I'll start the next round to explain why I kind of put it a little bit ahead of the Frontierland. But I'll let Kevin have
do
his 6. Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I also put Tom Sawyer's Island as well as my number 6.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being is, when I was younger, I really, really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And as I, progressed through the years, as one does through life, I understand the story. Like, you got to cross the river to get to the island, of course, yes.
Yes.
But the tedious part is waiting for said raft to take you across the island and also to take you back.
Mm-hmm.
Which at that point I was like, I'd rather. I mean, I know it's a nice slow. I should slow down and just chill, but it's like I don't feel like doing that. No. I'll sit on a bench and enjoy watching people in the rafts and waiting in line and watching the riverboat pass by and ducks float around and I could chill like that. I mean, I used to when I was little, I used to love exploring those caves. Those are cool.
Yeah, those are cool.
Barrel Bridge, all this stuff.
Yeah, sometimes waiting for that raft was like...
Yeah, it was almost like watching grass grow for me.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh no.
this is...
Because you're watching other people have fun.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not having fun.
I'm waiting.
Listen, you guys are not selling me on this.
No, we're not.
I'm not feeling bad that I haven't been.
Yeah.
But again, it's not for you. It's for your kids.
Okay.
Yeah, it's totally a play area. Again, it's kind of like taking your kids to the Boneyard. Boneyard's awesome. If you're a kid, if you're an adult, you sit there.
Isolate the noisy kids in an island.
Yeah, okay. But, we could probably get into this later, but the Boneyard has the benefit of beer.
Mm.
A boneyard and beer.
I don't need a beerless Boneyard.
That's fair.
But if it was a beerless boneyard,
it goes below Tom Sawyer
I
Island.
would say it would be bad.
yeah.
Then it would be number 6 on my list.
Okay.
As is this.
I mean, I guess that's a good point saying for Tom Sawyer Island to be for kids. I just don't know if it would be for kids of this generation as opposed to like ours and then in the past. You know what I
everything
mean?
would be like a first-person shooter kind of
exactly. They're like, where's
like
the
a laser
VR?
tag.
No, it's kind of like Back to the Future 2.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when Marty McFly goes in there and he playing the arcade machine? He's like, you mean you need to use your hands? It's like a baby's toy. I think that once a kid gets a phone in their hand, that's what everything else in life is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I got to climb that? No.
Too
Give me
tired.
the phone.
Yeah.
But let me tell you why Tom Sawyer's Island made it to number 5, since I think we can move on.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Please.
This is why I made it to 5 for me, because It's a magnificent backdrop when you're looking out at the rivers of America with the Liberty Bell coming by. I mean, that is a picture every single time I go. I'm going to miss that shot.
Yeah.
If I went and I did not play the Frontierland Shooting Arcade, it wouldn't bug me all that much. But not having that visual is going to bug me when I go back. I love the visual of the island in the background with the rivers of America in the paddle boat going by. I think it's beautiful. I think it's serene. I think it's the heart of what made Frontierland.
It's a nice scene when you're rounding that corner.
Yes.
Right. And you see the riverboat and the water and all that, the kinetic energy happening.
Exactly.
It is cool.
Yeah. I mean, think about going to Club 33. I mean, that's the good thing about this is that you'll still have this over in Disneyland, but think about going to Club 33. That's your view looking out.
Yeah.
So that's why I put it at 5 for me.
Oh, nice. I'll go with my number 5 because this might be a little shocking, but I'm throwing Dinosaur in my number 5.
Whoa.
No,
Yeah.
I thought you'd have gone a little higher with that.
A little bit, yeah, but in essence, here's the thing about Dinosaur. I was so back in the day when they first came up with that ride vehicle, that full ride system. I was so enamored with it. That's like I really wanted one of our own over here, Walt Disney World, especially when it opened Indiana Jones. And then when we got it, it was great. Yeah, it was a different story, but in essence, at least I assume it's not going away. Right? That ride system is still staying. I think. I have no idea. I could be completely wrong.
No,
about
I think
this.
it's staying.
But that's what I'm running on, because if it's a quick turnaround, like it feels like, then it's going to be the same track, same ride layout kind of stuff. Maybe different little changes, but it's still going to be that same ride thing. So that's the piece that I know is not going away. I'm happy with, and that's what really made me enamored with that particular attraction. I've said on the show before that Indiana Jones is the better version of that.
Sure.
And I like it. Sure, I'm going to miss Mrs. Huxtable and Dr. Seeker and that little story and stuff. But to Disney, over the years, they let it fall into some kind of disrepair where it was very hard to see things. And then it's only recently where everything's like now working really well, only because that's like the only game in that area now. And so it just seems really malleable for them just to contort and conform to whatever they need it to be.
Yeah.
It went from Countdown Extinction to Dinosaur really quick. And I was just like, well, that kind of turns me off a little bit that they can just easily do that. And of course, we're going to miss the little Bill Nye stuff, which I grew up with. But,
Bill
Nye, I guess, is not as relevant anymore to the young ones as much as it was when we were your age.
A little, but not as much.
Not as much, right? Yeah. Because I remember when Bill Nye was all over those parks and stuff. It was great.
Yes.
Because he had that show. But yeah, the ride system for me is what I really love about Dinosaur. It's not going away, so I'm not going to really miss it much. I'll miss the story a little bit, but hey, I could just listen to it in my car.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that because I thought you really did like Dinosaur and all the little hidden details about that ride, the ketchup, mayonnaise, mustard thingy, and obviously Wallace Langham and Felicia Rashad did a great job there. But more than anything else, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I consider it Imagineering malpractice that you have a park that celebrates animals and you've just decided to get rid of dinosaurs.
Right. Yeah.
I think that is Imagineering malpractice at its finest example.
Yeah.
Or lack of finest.
It's at its core.
Its core.
Yeah.
Dumb idea. Now, I'm sure they'll come up with some kind of homage or something like that, but I mean...
Yeah.
You know what the homage will be? They're just going to leave CTX on the back of the Rovers. Yeah, Gedge, you know what CTX used to be?
Well, isn't Indy after some mythical animal, and that's how they're tying it together?
I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
something like that.
Oh, wow.
And no, I don't really care about that. I'm with you. I'm not going to miss... It wasn't like this was a great ride. I could give a damn less about the Iguanodon or the Carnotaurus or whatever the hell they were called. But I did enjoy the fact that they had dinosaurs in a park celebrating animals. And I think this further degrades what the animal kingdom was supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least they tried with the story, but I mean...
They tried.
Well, mine was the Boneyard. But, what? You okay? I'm sorry.
I just think... That's all right. It's all right.
They had beer. Didn't you hear her?
I did.
They had beer in the Boneyard.
I didn't know like that. My thing was, again, I'm sorry. I just heard like, ooh, like I was like, man.
Yeah, you hurt me. It's okay.
I understand Danny hurt me too early with the galley, but we all in this together.
There's beer in them there bones.
Yeah, sir. But look, for me, it was more of a thing of I would pass by it and then I would see it, but when my daughter was young enough to go and like have the wonderment, that wasn't something she was into. Anybody that knows my daughter knows she's like a really girly girl. They say, hey, you want to get dirty? She'd be like, ew, no. So like, I just never had like those memories. I never had like that attachment to it. So it's nothing to say anything against it. I just never like brought myself out by it. So I have no memories of it. So that's pretty much it.
Okay. All right, Rachel, what's your fifth?
All right, my fifth one is another one that I have not done very often, and that is Dinosaur.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
First of all, I like Kevin's point that the ride mechanism is still staying the same. So I miss it less for that because we are going to still have pieces of it left.
Okay.
And also, I've only done it once. Actually, maybe I've done it twice. I might have done it as a teenager, but in my adult life, I've only done it once. My kids both never were interested in going on it. It was broken down a lot. So like, even when we were interested in going on it, oftentimes we couldn't anyway. And I think that it is surprisingly scary for little kids and they want it to be fun and it's not. And so anyway, it's just not my thing. So Dinosaur is my number 5, especially because of what Kevin said. It's the mechanism's still going to be there.
It was funny you talk about scary. I remember when I first took my 2 older ones. I only had 2 at the time. The last time they rode it, and they came out crying.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they were very upset.
Oh,
Both my kids have never been on it. Mostly, but like I said, mostly because when I would try to go on it with my oldest, it was always closed. It wasn't like we didn't want to. It just was like hard for us to get in there. And then my little guy's always been too short.
Oh,
Okay, I get that to a point, but here's my thing: is like I can get the idea of kids being scared, but it's dinosaurs. There's big teeth. Like, what do you think you're gonna see?
I know. I hear you.
well, it's different when it's kind of like the same simile as like when you see the characters in real life and they're larger than life and in person and in face. There's kids that do get scared about
Oh, it's a scale thing.
Yeah.
Like having a toy dinosaur versus
I mean, it's like there it is. Like, it's not real, but at the same time, it's not. They're not supposed to be nice, and then there's like a replication of it. So I think it's that kind of a thing.
Okay, so if you were to go on the Jurassic Park River Adventure thing, it would be the same thing.
Yeah,
kids would be scared.
Yeah.
All right, so then that brings us to number 4?
4. This is the 4th.
All right,
4th. I'll go 4th. I'm gonna say the Boneyard.
Okay.
It's not enough for it to be way down there. But now that I know it has beer, it's like I'm good with it. But it's like it's not enough to beat the ones that are the 3 above them, right? But I will miss the Boneyard because I thought it was a really, really well themed area that really added to that whole dig site kind of thing that they had going initially. And I do have an emotional connection to it because I did have a friend that worked the Boneyard during the college program. She was in that, so it was really, really neat to go there. And then that's when it was cheaper in college, and I could travel down there with a whim and just kind of hang out. And she'd always work it, and I was like, "Yeah, cool." And she'd get me in a Dinosaur, which is great.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I'm gonna miss that because I thought it was cool. I'm gonna miss seeing that bridge. The Olden Gate Bridge?
Yeah,
and stuff. I thought that was a really, really neat thing because it's not like the monorail crossed it, but people were crossing it, which I thought was cool. And to get through that was kind of like the gate to get into that particular area. So I'm gonna miss that particular thing because I thought that was such a neat little playground, especially for kids. If I was a kid, I'd do it.
Yeah, I could see that. Now, I'll second with you on this one and kind of jump the line here and go next because the Boneyard was my 4th as well because of exactly what you said. I mean, look, I'm going to miss it because it was my daughter's favorite play area. Now, she's outgrown it by now, but it still makes for a great visual and one inventive idea to turn a dig site into a play area with slides and rope bridges and caves and an actual dig site where they can find fossils and everything like that. I mean, she would spend a lot of time there and I had a good time watching her. But I mean, if I could participate, this might be a lot lot higher.
Absolutely.
I mean, apparently, like I'm missing the beer station in the Boneyard.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Joking. I'm thinking about it like it's like a beer garden. Like, just pull the dinosaur's bone and beer just shoots out.
The Flintstones
It's a
love that.
BYOB situation.
Oh my God. If they had an adult area where you could dig and then a beer pops up.
Yeah.
Bring your own bones. That's
and it's also BYOP because we also bring our own pretzels as well. We're
pretzels und beer.
It's like a baseball game over there.
That's
for
the
y'all.
game plan for the Boneyard.
Well, it won't be there anymore. Oh,
No,
Crazy.
It's gonna suck, and that really was a fun area, and it really fit the theming of the land. And
big time, yes.
I wish of everything. I would rather that stay, even though it's going to be lower on my list than Dinosaur. I would rather that stay than Dinosaur.
I could see that. Yeah. Actually, I guess so. I would agree too because I had that higher than Dinosaur.
Yeah, I'd almost agree, but like I said, it's just it's not for me.
Mine is I went with Dinosaur.
That's your fourth?
Yeah, that was my fourth. Again, Kevin pretty much like hit the hot spots and be like, I'm a nostalgia fan. I mean, you know, you got to give Miss Huxtable a due any time. I mean, the story was fun for what it was. I mean, like you said, it was the only thing in the area that was allow you to stretch your imagination. So
yes,
I give it props for that. But at the same time, like the world is changing. And the last time I think I was there at Disney, when people came off the Dinosaur ride, and I'm getting too old to ride it. I mean, it's knocking you back and forth. I think like if your spine is crooked, this might help it, but
or hurt it.
Yes. But I remember the last time I got off of it, I was sitting down waiting for my spine to realign again. I saw a bunch of people get off of the ride, and nobody said anything. You know, no one was like, "Oh wow, that blew me away," or let's go again or nothing. So it's like, I was like, yeah, maybe it's one of those rides that while it's cool, maybe it's just naturally past its prime and past its time.
Oh, no, actually, Eli, nobody said anything because Dr. Seeker said not to.
Yes.
Oh. It was to be our little secret. Remember
well,
that?
but kids never listen to adults, but they still said nothing. But okay.
They listen to Dr. Seeker.
Well, he should be writing a book on childhood. I will buy that book.
He is a doctor.
Yeah.
Can I a second about Dinosaur? Just to piggyback off of what Eli's saying.
Yeah, go
The one thing that kind of sours me on Dinosaur is that when they less intensified it, when they made it Dinosaur from Countdown, it ruined some of the effects of the transition into the world. Because when you're going through that little time tunnel, there used to be enough smoke to where it's all of a sudden like, poof, you're in the land of dinosaurs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the exact same thing would happen when you came back. Like you'd see the dinosaur head charging at you. There was a big poof of smoke, and all of a sudden you're back in the time.
Yes.
But now it's like when you could ride it, you could see the tunnel.
Yes.
And you could see the dinosaurs on the other side of the thing. It's like, sure, you can explain it like, oh, yeah, you are going through a time tunnel. So you could see the other side portal. But it wasn't as exciting as when they got rid of those little effects.
Yes.
And there used to be, I understand the flashing light thing, but that did help the illusion that you were actually going there. So that kind of soured me on it.
I can see
get that.
All right. My number 4 was the Frontierland Shooting Arcade.
Wow, it got up there for you.
I respect that. I respect that, Rachel, because you tried it.
I did try it that one time.
She did.
And it was good. And I feel like we would have gone back, but all gone now.
All gone.
Yeah,
But-
all done.
What was it about it? Was it the novel approach that you had to shooting the targets? Did you?
Listen, I hit some targets.
She bazooka that
Bazooka
sucker.
style. There.
Annie Oakley over here.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Young gun. There you go.
Not as many as Josh. I didn't hit as many.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So that was my number 4.
Okay.
No, I understand.
That's fair. That's
I get
fair.
that.
Yeah. All right.
So
number
up to
3, huh?
3, yeah.
Wow.
All right, let me just go ahead and go first to get this out of the way because I'm sick and tired. We've all talked about the dinosaur. I'm going to just put dinosaur right
Put
here.
it to rest.
And we're now it's extinct because I think we've all said dinosaur.
Yes.
There's no reason to embellish anymore in dinosaur outside of what we've already said.
Yes.
My biggest thing about it is that I thought it's a good idea. It was a lot of fun. I thought they pulled off everything well. But to Kevin's point, yeah, we're going to keep the same ride system. It's really not a top-notch presentation of dinosaurs, but I did enjoy it.
Oh, good. Yeah. I will say I appreciate their attempt at doing something different with the ride system for us as opposed to just copying what they had in Disneyland. So I applaud them for that. But, yeah, you know.
We beat that horse to death.
Yeah, we were pretty elaborate
yes.
with that. We gave it the respect that it's due, to be fair to it.
I raised my glass to Dinosaur.
Yes.
I know you're still around, but I know you're going away, and it's okay.
Yes.
I'm at peace with that.
Row to you.
Yes.
I think Kevin's in denial. I think he is. I think this is why Dinosaur is so low, is that he's just trying mentally to prepare himself for this.
Chuck it.
Oh, I don't know.
Just let me just get it out of my system now.
All right. So y'all go. Okay. Which y'all's third?
Yeah, third. So mine is going to be It's Tough to Be a Bug. I'm going to throw it in there. Yeah,
Okay.
only because it wasn't strong enough to beat the other two that I have on my list.
Okay.
But yeah, it's tough to bug. I thought it was an opening day attraction. That was like one of the first attractions I rode on when I went into that park.
Mhm.
I thought it was kind of cool. You know, you're going down to the base of the tree and there's
Yeah.
bugs just hanging out.
Mhm.
And, you know, all the little details as far as like the movie posters or the Broadway show type posters that they had and that soundtrack in the waiting area where like the bugs were playing like, you know, Beauty and the Beast and show tunes and stuff like that. I thought was really neat.
Mhm.
I thought it was like, I always liked that particular type of attraction, the 3D or 4D kind of experience like they were touting with like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and
Mhm.
MuppetVision and Tough to Be Bugged. So I really enjoyed those particular things.
I wish they made more of them.
I do too. Yeah, I really think they could have really advanced it and just like, you know, almost like 360'd it. You
Yeah,
know?
it's something that you could do with the whole family. No
Yeah.
one has to worry about having a heart condition. I mean, no one has to be strapped in. It's nice. I love the 3D movie idea. I really wish that was something they still played around with.
Yeah, and I did enjoy getting goosed in this ride. It was nice.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
attraction. It was a lot of fun.
You can't beat that.
Yeah, unless you pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, technically, you pay for this too. I guess.
Yeah.
But more experience is why this is on top of it.
Yeah. But it always made me laugh when I'd bring people on that never been on. I was like, wait, we gotta wait for the bugs. Just chill.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden they're like, ah!
Exactly.
That is probably, that's my favorite attraction, to where if I'm there and I'm with somebody who's never been there, I'm not watching the show, I'm watching them.
Yes,
Exactly.
It's a trip.
Because it's like a rite of passage. Like you go through it and then you want to see everybody else go through it. That's why like people are like, oh, it's too scary, it's too freaky, it's like, shut up. That's fun.
No, it's especially when the hornets
Get
sting you.
you.
Yeah,
Yes.
It makes me so laugh when I see people do it. They're like, whoa.
It's very interactive.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? Like I remember this specifically because you'd hear the wave of like screams. In Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, and the mice came out and were floating around people's feet.
Yes.
And you slowly hear it come down your way, and all of a sudden it's like,
Yes.
stick on your feet, and people freak out. It's the exact same thing. It was like more of that kind of stuff, and it's tough to be bugged. So I will miss that because I thought it was a really cool experience.
It was. Now, look, if young kids were complaining about that, now I get. And that was one where I don't know of a single young kid that I've ever bought on that ride that didn't end up crying. But if you're old, shut up.
Right.
That's enough. You can handle that. Toughen up.
I'm kidding.
Hopper just kind of pops out there. He's just like,
does he?
whoosh.
Yeah,
It's like,
he's freaky.
ooh. And he was like a newer animatronic at the time. So it was like, whoa, it's there. It's real. You know, so it's all good. It's cute. They had cute butterflies, so it made up for it.
Oh, yeah, they did. And
yeah.
Flick was adorable.
Yeah,
The
Flick was great.
presentation of it is great.
Yeah, I like that Bluey. So yeah, it's Stuff to Be Bugged is my number 3.
Okay.
This one was really tough because it was like a back and forth I had on this, and I ended up going with MuppetVision.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not to say that it's worse than the other two or anything like that, because it's laid out well. I love the characters. I like that was one of the first few things that I saw in 3D. You know, when I went to Disney, so it's always had that. I mean, and I think again, like I was saying about Dinosaur, like I don't think it should go away. I think like just having a slight upgrade or something to it, if you will, would help it out. But I think just what it came down to for me was there was just like this little extra oomph of experience that the latter two have that this one didn't. But that's really all it is. It was pretty much no slight on the attraction itself. But yeah,
I never understand when people keep saying that about MuppetVision
What's that?
3D. We need an upgrade. Like, so what? What's the upgrade going to be? A bunch of wrong-sounding Muppets?
No, that's it. I mean, I can't speak for everybody else in the world, but I mean, let's say like
I mean, that's automatically a downgrade. No matter what you do, you can come up with the next greatest Muppet show, MuppetVision, whatever, 4D, whatever they want to call it, and it's still going to not be good because none of the Muppets are voiced, except for Gonzo with Dave Goelz. None of them are voiced by the original actors anymore.
Yeah.
That they're all gone. I mean, well, except for Frank Oz, but he's retired, and Dave Goelz, he still does Gonzo, but that's about it.
I mean, I guess I would say that if there was a way to say update it, maybe like pop culture wise, so that whoever's younger is seeing it, it'll relate to them more. And then you haven't seen an older, version of it. can say, oh yeah, well, I remember this, that, and the other, just to keep it relevant. But I get what you're saying with the voices. I mean, in some things, like you can tell there's a difference, but that's not fair to the actors. Because, I mean, you only live for so long.
Kermit just has not sounded like Kermit ever since they fired Steve Whitmire. I don't know who.
Yeah, this new Kermit is a little off for me.
He's got a frog in his throat. Yeah, gotcha.
He's got a frog in his throat.
Even kids recognize that Kermit's not sounding right.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember
That's
watching
tough.
it with Lil, and she was like, what's wrong with Kermit? And I'm like, yeah, they got rid of Steve Whitmire.
But do you is that enough of a good reason to take it out because the voice doesn't sound consistent with the characters then? Or
I just don't know how you upgrade a show like that. Look, no matter what, you watch a show 3 to 4 to 5 times, it's going to get old. It's going to get stale. You're going to figure out the beats. You can figure out how it's going to happen. You're going to know the surprises. I don't ask for them to upgrade Pirates or upgrade Haunted Mansion. If you want to add a new effect to it, like kind of like they upgraded, I guess you could say they upgraded MuppetVision 3D when they added the little kaleidoscope Waldos around the room. You remember they did that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay.
But for the most part, I don't know how you update that show without just losing Jim Henson, Frank Oz, Richard Hunt. Well, Richard Hunt was more in the pre-show. No, that's not true because he voiced Statler to Jim Henson's Waldorf. So he's in the show itself. But you lose Jerry Nelson. You lose all those guys. With the exception of Dave Goles, who did Gonzo. So that's my only thing. It's like upgrade Muppets. Like, I don't think you can. I mean, I
need to get that source audio.
We got to get that deepfake AI stuff in there.
Oh, if they do that, okay, then yeah, no problem.
What, the deepfake AI?
Deepfake AI, if they go ahead and they say, all right, look, we'll have the Muppet performer who does it now, and then we'll mix in Jim Henson's voice. He'll do a recording, and then we'll take Jim's voice, AI it, and
take his,
put it all together,
his cadence,
right, and get it together. Yes, and I would be fine with that.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a small sidetrack, but this is it. Like I watched the Dexter prequel, and the lady who plays LaGuardia sounds exactly like the actress who played it in the show, but it's not the same person.
Right.
And I'm like, and I know how that actress sounds because she's a singer. I'm like, they had to have done some crazy AI thing with that lady's voice because it sounds exactly like her.
Well, Mr. Miyagi shows up in the new Karate Kid stuff, and that's AI with a sound alike, and they meshed the two together and came up with a voice that is totally passable as Pat Morita.
And that's it. That's it. And there you
it's
go.
like Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah.
And
I'm fine with that.
And then I think that, and I don't think that's a hard task. I don't think that's an impossible thing to do for them
because it keeps the legacy of those actors who created those voices alive while still allowing a voiceover actor to have work and whatnot. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah, new jokes, new material. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that kind of stuff could.
If that's the case and they were able to do that and they actually use AI to make the voices sound like the original Muppet creators made their voices, I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah, they don't even try.
I just don't think they will.
Yeah, they don't even try. They don't even try.
All right.
My number 3 is, I really, really struggled with this one. I think I'm going to go with Tough to Be a Bug. But we're getting into ones that we like, you know? So I did like Tough to Be a Bug, and I am going to miss it. But mostly, I'm actually really excited for Zootopia. I know you guys aren't necessarily, but I am. So I'm excited for what's coming. More so than I know. I'm excited more so than I'm sad about what's leaving. So that was my number 3.
I understand. I totally understand.
We're curmudgeon. We got to work through things. It's just really tough.
Yes, it is hard. Like look, I love Jason Bateman. He's one of my favorite actors. And I really dig him. There's so many other places you could have done a Zootopia land, a Zootopia show. Why you have to take out something that works, I'll never understand.
A mainstay.
I'll never understand. Yeah. Leave it there. Open something Zootopia related anywhere else you want. I don't care.
Yeah, because I think you didn't need to know the movie now to enjoy Tough to Be a Bug.
Right.
Like these just could have been just characters just for that ride. I mean that attraction. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's not IP. I mean, it's Tough to Be a Bug.
It's definitely IP. Yeah. But I mean, I say that only because people may say relevancy. The people, Tough to Be a Bug came out so many years ago, and it's like, well, that's my point. It's like you probably don't need to know the movie in order to enjoy the show.
No, of course not. I mean, and that's the thing about, I've always said that this whole synergy idea. Sometimes great rides make for shitty movies. Sometimes shitty movies can make for a great ride. It's Tough to Be Bug wasn't one of my favorite Pixar movies, but it made for a hell of an attraction.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Avatar, the movie is terrible.
Yeah. Well, to me, I didn't care for the movie.
Well,
But
Dinosaur, the movie wasn't that great.
the
but
Dinosaur movie was terrible. The attraction, I enjoyed
it
it.
was great.
I mean, the Pirates attraction was cool. The movie, the first one, awesome.
Name a great Haunted Mansion movie, for God's sakes. I mean, there's passable ones. The latest one I thought was passable.
Yeah,
but
I tried to get through the Eddie Murphy movie, but only because it was Eddie Murphy, and it was tough. I had to stop halfway.
You think about Tower of Terror, the Gutenberg,
oh, yeah.
not good.
Oh, I have
You
not
know.
seen that one.
The Goot.
The Goot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So, okay, man. This is good. All right. So, hard decisions coming up here.
Very, very, very hard decisions.
All right. Number 2.
Number 2.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Mine was Tough to Be a Bug. I don't really, like you said, we pretty much hit all of the things that there is to be said about it. The main thing that made me put this on the number 2 list, which we had already discussed, is the fact of after being on it, you want to see other people's reaction to it because you have the knowledge of it. Or again, me taking my daughter and being like, hey, you had to sit right here, and then it freaks out. You're like, I got my good laugh for the day. You know, like, and those are memorable experiences, like the little nuances there I liked. I liked that it was pretty much themed well with Animal Kingdom. It was informative to me. I mean, I had never seen the movie, but I at least known enough watching it. I was like, okay, well, that bug does this. Watch out for the thing. It'll shoot me in the eye, stuff like that. I remember when you did, Danny, that whole retrospective of it.
Yes.
And I
That
was
a
like,
lot of fun.
yeah, because I remember I was
That
like,
was
oh,
good.
how did he do this? And then like you broke it all down. Really good episode. A lot went into that. And so, yeah, I think that was one of my things that I was like, number 2 all the way through. But to all the points that we had already discussed when you guys had it ranked at 3.
All right. All right. Number 2, yeah.
My number 2 is the Boneyard.
Aw, and beer.
I know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
pretzels.
We talked about it a lot already, but I really did go on really like where I have spent the most time in the parks, and that gets the second place for me.
Is it just the visuals of watching your kids play while you get to enjoy a little
And
quiet
you know
time?
what? I think part of it is that it's pretty unique.
Yes.
Like even in playgrounds, you don't have anything that is that multifaceted. It has the dinosaur dig site, it has the slides, it has the caves you can explore, it has all the play area stuff. So, and I liked how enclosed it was. It felt really safe. So it was just a great way to kill time, and I'm going to miss it.
I could see
I
that.
could see that. Yeah.
That probably, I mean, name a play area that was better than the Boneyard. I don't think you can.
Yeah.
No.
And we did the play area at California Adventure. I thought it was going to be kind of similar, and it's not. It's not as good. So anyway, I just think they really did a great job with that one as far as play areas go, and it was unique. It was something that the other parks didn't really have, and so I liked that part of it.
Yeah, not Tom Sawyer, not Dumbo, not Winnie the Pooh. Like any of those,
Yeah.
they don't even hold a candle to the Boneyard.
Right.
Well, I'll say this.
Any of the places in Toontown either.
Yeah. I'll
None
say
of
this
them.
about that. So, like in Hollywood Studios, they used to have that place, that Bugs Life playset area,
Yes.
which I thought was really, really cool.
that
Now,
was cool.
I say that not to say that that's better than this, but I always thought when the Boneyard opened, they built off of what they did with that, and they made it even better.
That's cool.
Because it was a similar type of interactive experience where you had the big ant that you could ride, and it had a bunch of different slides
Sure.
built into the whole place. But it was really, really small, right? Because
Big
it was
ant. Like, you thinking Honey, I Shrunk the Audience?
Yeah, well,
Honey,
they-
I Shrunk the Kid?
well,
MGM?
maybe that's what I'm talking. Not Bugs Life. Yeah, the Honey I Shrunk the Audience playset.
Okay.
I misspoke. Sorry, but yeah, it was the one in Hollywood Studios back in the day, right next to that little.
I thought, my
Club.
bad.
Yeah,
I
I'm
thought
so
you
sorry,
meant California Adventure, that little.
No, I was thinking.
Bugs Land.
I'm thinking the one that you just said. Yeah, the Honey I Shrunk the Adventure playset.
Okay.
which I thought was a really, really cool
That
setup.
was cool.
But it was small because of the space
was.
it was in. And I thought the Boneyard was the next level of that. It was like an advancement of that particular experience
Okay.
that it did, so I thought it was cool.
All right.
But outside of that, to y'all's point, yeah, you're right. There's nothing that I think would beat either of those two nowadays. So.
All right. So that was my number 2. What do you got, guys?
All right, so I'm gonna go with number 2. This was very, 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 very tough, and I'd almost say my number 2 is actually more like a 1.1 because they're very, very close, and I had to make a decision between one. I had to pick one. If I could take both as my number 1, I would have. But there's a reason why I put my number 1 as number 1.
Okay.
So my number 2 is MuppetVision 3D.
Okay.
I'm gonna miss the piss out of this attraction just because of all the details that were in it. The key under the mat was one of my favorite things.
Yes.
All the different the Muppets movie type posters and stuff was great. I was in the Muppets theater. There was Statler and Waldorf. There was all the stuff in the pre-show was just brilliant. Time and time again on every trip, that was an attraction, regardless of its popularity, that I would hit. That was I was a definite must do whenever I hit MGM, now Hollywood Studios. So I'm gonna definitely miss it. I'm gonna hate to see it go when it goes away in June, which really sucks to say because that's really, really close. But yeah, I just thought that was a really great advancement to that particular attraction. You know, I know Tufts to Be Bug came after it, but this MuppetVision 3D did come after, you know, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, and before that, Captain EO. So this was like just building upon all those successes they had. Oh, and Filler Magic's still around.
Okay.
That came out shortly afterwards. But MuppetVision 3D is just something that's we're going to miss the voices. We're going to miss all the effects in the theater, which I thought was brilliant. The stuff in the back of the theater that I always try to make sure that people saw. So nobody, you know, when the chef came out, nobody ever thought to look back there.
Yeah.
I would purposely look back there and make people turn around and look. I would even do a stupid point like, look at that. And then people are like, oh, that's funny, he's back there. And then everybody would start looking. It's like, yeah, there's stuff all around you that you miss because you're just thinking it's just this box. But no, you're in the theater.
Just seeing the theater destroyed. Like 9 times out of 10,
awesome,
most people don't even catch that the theater is destroyed until you're walking out at the exit. And they're like,
yeah.
There's chunks of concrete missing.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. I thought it was brilliant.
Yes, beyond brilliant.
So I'll miss that for sure.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, I'm sure this will shock some of the listeners, but my number 2 is also MuppetVision 3D.
Oh wow!
Yes. Let me be clear: if this was a MuppetVision 3D from 10 years ago, this is a no-brainer. MuppetVision 3D all the way. But they just kept whittling away at the design of that area so much. It just didn't feel the same anymore when you go there. It feels wrong. You're no longer secluded in that pleasant little courtyard area with the Muppet music playing, and you got that. You used to have that Kermit hot air balloon right atop the clock tower. Oh, wow. That magnificent fountain with Miss Piggy and the rats and Gonzo and Fozzie and Animal, which they turned into a planter. And then they turned it back into the fountain, but then they lost half the figures, like Gonzo and Fozzie, and they were all gone. It was like a bare bones fountain. They stripped the marquee. They turned it into like some hokey looking, gaudy, loud, like obnoxious theater looking thing where it didn't look the same. It looked like Chester and Hester might have invented.
Chester and Hester's Muppet.
Who wants movie gas?
We're Muppet Maniacs.
Come on now, come on.
They whittled away at the gift shop. The gift shop barely even served Muppet stuff anymore.
That is egregious.
That's a good point.
They shoved Constantine into the pre-show, which was a terrible movie. That Muppets Most Wanted was not good. And they just like Constantine would just show up and just kind of snicker and boom, back to your regularly scheduled pre-show. True. It was just so silly. I mean, they just kept whittling away at it that you were kind of already starting to accept that the things that made it great, now it was just restricted to what was in the building, not
outside of the area.
Right.
I get that.
But the main reason also is because this is one of the few attractions I've ever heard where they say we're looking into ways to preserve it, which might mean there is a chance that this comes back in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
So,
I think you're right.
Yeah. So hopefully we will see this again, which is why it made it to number 2 on my list.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
Hope lifted it up to where it needed below.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a couple of different areas, and kind of like Kevin said, my 1 and my 2 is kind of 1A, 1B, and for the reasons I just outlined, that's how MuppetVision 3D ended up in my 1B as opposed to the 1A that I'm going to argue vociferously for, that I'm really going to miss.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. The whole, to your point, it reminds me of the Up movie where it's like, the people kept trying to buy the dude's property and stuff, and things just kept on getting developed and developed and developed. And so they just need to put balloons on it, or the Muppet balloon, and just let them go.
Yeah.
Let them relocate somewhere else. The adventure, but
that's cool.
It's
too.
all good. Nice.
No, it's a jewel. It's definitely a jewel.
All right, number one. Who wants to start?
Number one.
Ooh.
I'll start because you guys just talked about it. My number one was MuppetVision.
Yay. There you go.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, I thought,
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to say more. My bad.
Sorry, Rachel.
No, you just talked about it. So that's kind of, I was like, oh, okay.
All right. Well,
Rachel's like, Muppets.
boom.
Mic drop.
Dropped it. You know what you
And
said.
walk away.
And that's what happened.
Did you have a favorite moment in Muppets, Rachel? Something that you're like, out of all the things that happened, is there one particular thing like, that's a nice detail or thing I'm going to miss? There's a lot, so that's fair.
There is a lot. It's kind of silly, but I don't know if you guys remember, there was a time when I went on it and the audio wasn't working. And I discovered that the only thing that's an actual real sound is the cymbal that the penguin plays.
Yes, you're right. It is.
Yes.
And so that penguin with the cymbal is like my favorite thing now because I know it's the only real sound you hear.
Dude, no,
That's funny.
to your point, that whole orchestra is an incredible detail.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is
yeah.
like the icing on the cake because I remember doing that. I remember doing that too. I was like, whoa, he's actually really banging cymbals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? But
Anyway.
yeah, that whole orchestra, penguin orchestra. Oh, I'll miss that. That was such a cool detail.
Yeah. My favorite was always when Sweetums popped out just to watch
Yeah, I like that too.
the kids' jaws hit the floor.
Yeah. All right.
I take this.
All right, go for it.
You guys to finish it off as anchor. And look, it was really simple. I had to take the shooting gallery, and there's a and look, don't get me wrong. I know, like, I get why everybody had it ranked low, and I didn't say anything because that is completely fair and justified. But for me, this was just pretty much more like an emotional thing. Like, I would go to the park, and I don't like to really go on my own. Most of the time, I like to stick with the group. You know, like, we'll split up and see here, see there. If I pass Frontierland,
Unless the group gets up at like 9.
yeah, then if you are your own, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You book something to 7:00. I mean, if you drag me there, I'll be there. But otherwise, yeah, whenever they went to Frontierland, I'll be like, hey, I want to do the shoot gallery. And everybody's like, no, we're good. You know, and like, just tell me where you're at, and then I'll meet you there. Like, in other words, like, that was a must stop for me. There was a kind of in the beginning, though, I thought it was fun because it was, you know, like, it was cheap, very affordable. Then we went to California, it was free. You're like, well, there you go. There's your amusement there. But after a while, it got like deeper because I realized there were different challenges depending on what you would hit for the different targets. And then I was like, I'm going to hit every single target and figure out what everything does. And then I accomplished that. So that was like, oh, cool. But that's one of the only things I would say that when I found out it was closing, we got very good audio testimony of this, I had a visceral reaction to it. I was just not a fan. So yeah, I had to give its props on that one.
Okay.
Right on, man.
I think it's a little high.
That's fair, but I liked it.
I know, I get that, but at least it's in Disneyland. You can still do it in Disneyland, right?
That's fair, but
Yeah, but you got to go to Disneyland.
I gotta go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. I know, twist my arm. Yeah.
I
tried.
Disneyland.
I mean, come on, what I'm gonna do?
like, what the hell, dude? I'd rather go to Disneyland any day.
I know, but you know the adventure that comes out there in California. But yeah.
I'll piggyback on Eli's because I put Frontier Shooting Arcade as my number one as well.
All right.
And there is an emotional component. Argue as you may will.
And you own a lot of guns.
I do. But that's beside the point because it's like when that's one of the attractions when I was little, I go to.
Yeah.
And I definitely made sure that I hit. Maybe it was because I grew up in the video game arcade days and stuff. It's like you make change for the quarter, and then you put the little quarter in, and you shoot the thing.
Shoot it, yeah.
And it was great. But that's the only reason why it edged out MuppetVision 3D for me because that was something that goes back to my particular childhood.
It's personal.
I did that. It's very, very personal. I went there pretty much every time I went on that. It was like that was definitely a must do for me. Right. Yes, it's over in Disneyland, and I'll definitely do it over at Disneyland, but that's not the one I grew up with. And the one I grew up was recessed in Frontierland. I turn around, I can still see the water and the things go around. I don't know if you could see that in the one in Disneyland because I think it's differently located.
Yeah.
Around the mountain and stuff. But I just thought it was kind of neat just to hear it. that little aspect. And, it went through its iterations where sometimes there was a point where things weren't working so well, but then they fixed it.
They fixed it very
It was
well.
all right. But, even up to this day, it was just a hoot for me just to kind of make those things happen again.
Yeah.
Well, you're
It
a
was a very
vacation club
strong-
member. Enjoy the Coke machine.
Oh, shit. I'll shoot the Coke machines.
Yeah, now how about that?
Yeah, there
Fix
you
the
go.
sight on it, you to get a Sprite. How about
Man.
that?
Listeners should know this. Like Kevin, yes, he's a little Winnie the Pooh-ish in his demeanor and in his visual aesthetic, but this dude has more guns than Rambo. He's packing, guys.
That's fair. Frank Castle goes to Kevin for guns.
Yeah,
That's totally fair.
Yeah, but don't let that point diminish the fact that attraction
No.
is top.
You and I are on the same boat on that. When they said it was going to, I remember us both just be like, "Come on, what?" Like,
Y'all are out of y'all freaking minds.
No,
you just figured that out. You just learned that. Man.
No, I own
Like
that.
of
Yeah,
all
I own
the
that.
things that y'all are gonna pick to miss.
I'm just being honest, though.
Okay,
That's being
okay.
honest.
Yeah, but if
I like
this is,
that. I don't stop.
this is my list, and that's what I'm going with.
Yeah. I caught every time I went on a vacation. That's exactly where I went every single time.
I had fun doing it too, but my goodness, like I don't know that the Frontierland Shooting Arcade was more well themed than the Boneyard or MuppetVision 3D or Dinosaur. That's a little of a stretch, but okay. Hey, it's y'all's opinion.
It was, and it is my opinion.
And it's
I will
a
own
terrible
it.
one, but it's yours.
a great opinion, I think.
Awesome opinion.
Don't play laser tag, you losers.
I can't wear all that. That's too much gear. I just need a gun and a good eye.
Go chase a 14-year-old around with
Oh Lord,
a lit vest.
no, you just missed out. I mean,
Shove it up
there.
Wow.
Danny, what's yours? I feel like we need a drum roll.
Oh, okay. Mine?
Oh, yeah.
It's tough to be a bug.
Tough to be a bug.
Hey,
It's
I like
tough
it.
to be a bug. Friggin' it just works. And over the years, they haven't whittled away at it. They haven't messed it up by tinkering with the surrounding area like they did with Muppets. The
that's
place
true.
is just awesome. Where would you expect to find insects? Why, under a tree, of course. So the placement is just perfect. It's awesome. The giant roots overhead, the dirt and tangled branches that make you feel like you're sitting underground in a carved out theater. The way they subliminally shrink you down to bug size. I mean, it just works. Every part of this attraction works well. It's shocking. It's funny. It can be a little scary, and the theming is beyond magnificent. And like I kind of said before, it's Imagineering malpractice for me to lose dinosaurs. It's Imagineering malpractice to lose insects in the animal kingdom when they make up the majority of the animal kingdom.
That's how they get to eat.
So yeah, that is why it's tough to be a bug. That one I think I'm going to miss the most.
I can see that. No, that was brilliantly placed.
Yes, it was.
For the Tree of Life to have its own attraction, and
Yeah.
for it to be that.
I always went there too.
Yeah, that's a must do.
I mean, look, I'm hoping to be wrong with Zootopia. It doesn't even fit. Like what? You go under a tree and hey, guess what? You just wandered into Zootopia. Great. Like, wouldn't it have been better to do the train ride in, kind of like what
you see
everyone
the
said
city.
was going to happen with Conservation Station and everything like that? I mean,
Yeah.
That would have been a lot better.
yeah, no, I agree.
Because that's almost like Tom Sawyer's Island for me. Conservation stations. I don't do it because I got to take a train to do it.
I did it once. I'll never do it again. Yeah, you're right. It's a Tom Sawyer Island of Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, the train's unique because you face in one direction, which is kind of odd. But it's still, you have to take a means of conveyance just to get to it and to get back. It's not like the trails where you can just walk into it and out of it.
Yeah, that's retro.
You're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a forced crowd gobbler. But anyway, I digress.
We want a bullet
Yeah,
train
yeah.
to Zootopia then. That's what we want.
All these things are going to miss, man. It's
Yeah,
just,
no.
so sad.
I mean,
is
we're
no wrong
losing a
answer.
Muppet. So, okay, we pretty much lost the 3D movie out of Epcot with Honey, I Shrunk the Audience,
Mhm.
Captain EO. Both of those are gone. We're losing MuppetVision 3D,
Yeah.
at least for the time being. It's tough to be a bug. Will be replaced by Zootopia. How 3D
I assume it's a 3D right?
interactive? Yeah, I assume as well, but I don't know. But I,
don't
mean,
know
really,
yeah.
Phil Her Magic just is standing there like, hold my beer. Like, I'm just, yeah.
feeling a
Oh, it's
little
more like
unsure.
my next.
Yeah.
But to our point, that ride that attraction gets slight upgrades. Like Coco wasn't in there before,
Yes.
and then they were like, boom, Coco.
Well, one upgrade. That's about the extent of
And
it.
they remastered
fair
it.
enough.
Yeah,
Fair
but
enough.
you see, there's
Digital
care.
now.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rach. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying they remastered it so that the visual's better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, to be
Sounds
fair,
better,
though,
yeah.
Tough to Be a Bug and like MuppetVision, like they have like live, not live, but like big, puppets and stuff like that. Whereas Phil and Magic is just mainly like a screen. So yeah, you can.
Don't forget about Duck Butt though.
Well, I never forget about Duck Butt. I don't know what other butt you're gonna put in there, but it cannot replace Duck Butt.
That is the greatest finale.
Exactly. But it allows for them maybe to kind of again keep that relevant, because you could just make that film of whatever the next hot Disney property is, stick it in, there's Donald flying right in it. So maybe a trick.
Oh, because there's multiple properties. You're right.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's like it's a segmented story with different scenes coming in from different movies and whatnot. So it's a lot easier to adjust and say
it's tough to be
Muppet.
So
Tough to Be a Bug might be a little bit easier if you wanted to include an extra scene in the show, like an extra bug that you could pull out. They could probably do that, but they're not going to do that because Bug's Life did not do well at the box office, whereas Coco did, and these are all popular Disney movies. Whereas It's Tough to Be a Bug really relies on the strength of how much you like bugs.
Yes, you got to really like gross stuff.
Yes,
for this, and Phil and Magic is pretty much like a shotgun aesthetic. I mean,
it's the greatest hits of
it's a
Disney.
jukebox.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna like one of these things,
right?
And we'll hit you with 6 or 7. We'll put songs in it and everything like that, and then of course we'll just. The finale's Duck Butt. Can't beat that. It's just it's the perfect combination. So
I was just thinking, what if they put the murder hornet in the Stuff to Be a Bug?
Oh cow!
Oh God! Okay,
to keep it relevant, I guess.
Hi, I'm with the epidemic.
Stings, yeah.
All right, so guys, I've been keeping score. And and we've got some golf rules here. So I wrote down our numbers, and the highest total is the worst, right?
Yes.
And so then the lowest number is the winner. So coming in at number 6, Tom Sawyer.
Oh,
fair enough.
Yeah, Tom Sawyer's Island, number 6.
It's a good song.
We've got a 2-way tie for number 5.
Okay.
Between Dinosaur and the Boneyard.
Really? Both in the same area.
Wow,
Interesting.
wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
So that's 5 and 4. So then 3 is the Frontierland Shooting Arcade.
All right.
Yeah, that's right.
I take that.
Shoot
Number
that.
3.
Still number 3 with a bullet.
Number 1 in my heart.
That's it. Thank you.
Number 2 by 1 point. So this was close.
Oh,
is
boy.
Tough to Be a Bug.
Oh,
wow.
nice.
Okay.
And then number 1 was MuppetVision 3D.
Yeah. I like that. I like that Muppet.
I think that's good. Yeah.
Those two those were, like I said, those were really hard choices.
They were close.
Well, that was it for me. It was my 1 and 2 were very, very.
Those two attractions are perfect.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can think to even say to distinguish the two was what they've done to help whittle away at Muppets. It's the only thing I could think to. That and the fact that it might come back, whereas Bugs, it's tough to be a bug that's gone
It ain't
forever.
going anywhere.
Yeah.
And you get that source audio too, I guess.
One of these days, I'd like to do a show like this, and I think Rachel could really be helpful with this because, I mean, the good thing about these 3D shows is those are shows that you could always go to no matter what. Like the parks could be crowded and your kids don't want to wait in line. They're like, why are we here to? And you could take them to go see It's Tough to Be a Bug, MuppetVision 3D,
Film Magic,
Magic, and they're going to have a great time. Maybe just down the road, Rachel, a show about if Magic Kingdom was just swamped, what you could do and still have a great time.
Yeah, I could definitely help with that.
Yeah.
That's.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
I think that'd be great.
because those are good.
And to your point, Danny, it's like the good thing about those movie attractions is like, even if there was a line, you knew you were getting in because of the capacity.
Yes.
Right.
And regardless of where you sat in that area, you're going to have the similar experience, whether you're in the front row or the back row or in the sides. It was all a great experience.
Yes.
Yeah. And the best part is, or one of the best parts about these things, since they're indoor, when you're in nice, humid Florida, you get air conditioning.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah. That
nice,
is true.
comfortable seat and air conditioning.
Out of the sun, yeah.
Out of the sun. I don't care how old you are. You are thankful for that.
All right, wait, last question. All right. So of everything that we discussed, I mean, we're talking about things that are going away. Is there something that has gone away that if you could just ride it one last time, experience it one last time, anything in the Disney World, Disneyland area whatsoever that has gone away, that if you could bring it back one last time, what would that be?
I have a weird one, I think.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, I went on Alien Encounter and
Man.
it scared the bejesus out of me. I mean, like, for real. I was terrified. Totally crazy. But I would like to do it again because I just remember being terrified, but I would like to see it as an adult and see if it was really that scary.
That's a legit
Girl,
call, Rachel.
I remember riding it and being like, dude, it's kind of cool. It's intense. But I was never like scared out of my mind like some other people.
Oh my gosh. I was like, get me out of the seat immediately. And I was 12. Like, I mean, that was intense.
I remember, I don't know what she's talking about, because like they cut the lights off and it was like, and then like the voice would move back and forth and all the lights were out. Oh no, that was freaky.
You feel the breath. Yeah.
Oh, the tongue when it flicked your.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It was terrifying. That was easily the scariest thing I had ever been through in my life up to that point, which like I get the privilege that's baked into that comment.
You know,
I mean, that was it.
But I thought we talked about this before, and you were like, "That ride was terrible. I'd never do it again." Like I thought you were like sworn off of that ride. You would totally give it another shot now.
I don't know. Well,
would you take your kids on it?
No, I would never take my children on it. No,
I'd take mine on it. Yeah.
I would do it alone just to be like. Just to find out.
You'll be the guinea
pig. It was
pig.
really that scary. Yeah,
Okay.
I would never take my children on that ride.
I was going to take Hannah to that one, but it had become Stitch by that point.
Yeah.
And I was like,
awful nonsense.
Well,
dang, that's a good comment. Yeah.
You know, I was going to say the exact same thing, Rachel. That if I could experience that again, I would. I have the source audio, so on my commutes, I will listen to it. I'm like, oh, that was so cool. And the second time I went on it is when I stopped being scared. Because when I realized the comment, "It's my mother-in-law," was the same damn thing. I'm like, wait a minute. Somebody's not really saying that.
That's like MuppetVision saying,
Yeah.
like, he's over there. Like,
yeah. And then you're just like, oh, okay, this is just fun now.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I could ride that or experience that again, I would. If I had my kids and I want them to experience something from my childhood that I want to ride, it would be the original Journey into Imagination.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because that was such.
Ooh, I forgot. That's a really good choice, Kev.
There's not a day that I don't miss that attraction because of how cool it was.
It was,
and how it explained the imagination and. You know, even the opening scene where you're kind of floating around with Dreamfinder in that thing, and then you peel off, and it's like that's brilliant.
Like, you know, so many people want Horizons back, but like I don't know that Horizons would work today. I think Journey to Imagination
could still hold
the
up,
way that it was before would still work to this very day.
So.
That's a really good one. I forgot about that.
Imagination hasn't changed, and you know, I look back at old videos. I'm like, this could have still worked, y'all. You know, oh, and just to throw it in there, the nighttime experience, I'd like to. Illuminations is
definitely on my list.
I almost said Spectrum Magic, but I'm like, no, I think I want Illuminations. Maybe even specifically the Millennium Celebration version.
Yeah.
Oh, do we get
really,
wishes?
really
we get wishes back.
You can do wishes. If you want to do wishes. Wishes was good too.
No, I enjoyed that experience, but I'd have to say, I know this is going to be odd, but the only reason why I'm saying this is because I've never experienced it, so I would have liked to have said I experienced it. That would probably be Captain EO.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
For the day. Yeah, that was cool.
Because when I was young, like I didn't have my parents took me to Disney when I was really young. Like it's not enough that I remember it. Like I remember going on Pirates because I got the Pirates gun with it, but I don't remember anything else that they were like, hey, remember this? Like, because they don't really talk about it.
You can find Captain EO on YouTube if you want to watch it.
Yeah, no, I've watched it.
Bored to tears.
Very young.
Probably so, but you know.
There's a very young Angelica Houston.
There's no Michael Jackson,
bad.
you know, nothing like that. Yeah. But in other words, just for nostalgia's sake to say, hey, I never rode that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'd go for that.
Yeah. I got to call the Adventurers Club on this.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I really do have to say,
that's a good one.
If I had to go back in time and experience one thing all over again, and don't be wrong, I can catch the performances online and stuff like that, but the experience of standing in that club, ordering drinks, mingling with the actors playing these, oh my God, it was so much fun.
That is awesome.
Yeah, no, the Adventurers Club was something special.
That was very special.
And they do reunions and stuff like that, but you can never bring that back. I mean, all that stuff. I think Joe Rohde he donated so much of the artifacts that were used in the Adventurers Club. But my God, that what a really, 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 really great show.
Yeah, when you first introduced me to that, I was like, what the hell is this boy bringing me to? But yeah, it was so interactive, and they're like, yeah, you come up here, burly guy, and I was like,
I'll tell you my two biggest bummers though. Like I think we all get to this point. There's a point in time where you're a kid and your parents bring you.
Right.
And then you go out on your own and you have no money for like 10, 15 years. And then you have a family and you have some money and you can do things. And then when that happened, I was able to go back to Disney and I took Anna. There were two things that I went to Disney that they didn't have that I really, really, really missed.
Oh, no.
The Kitchen Cabaret.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too.
that one hurt. That
was
one
a good
really, really hurt because I don't know why. I just remember loving the Kitchen Cabaret when I was a kid. But the other one was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh, that's another one I was going to say, too.
Yeah.
That's a special one, too.
Yeah.
Two specials.
Still the Adventures Club being...
Yeah.
Oh, I do miss the Cruises brunch. I know they got rid of that. I know that don't count as an
I saw
attraction.
pictures.
That's an experience.
Oh, was that an experience? That's an
Yeah.
experience. You didn't have to eat for like 2 days.
Nope.
Right.
And it made up for it right there in that brunch. Wow.
That would have been great.
We were booking our trip back to Disney on the way out of that Narcoossee's brunch. We had that good of a time. That was our last day. And after that Narcoossee's brunch, we're like, we're coming back.
That's awesome.
Then it was
And then
gone.
it was gone, yeah.
Yep.
For long-time listeners, you're probably expecting me to say the Skyway to Tomorrowland or Fantasyland, just so I can have one more chance to throw a coin off. But if it came back today, there's nothing really to throw a coin off of into.
I think there's some people
What's
that
a
are
coin?
thankful.
What's a coin?
What's a Bitcoin? He's talking Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
I'm throwing
I'm throwing my
cryptocurrency
phone
at
off of
everybody.
Yes, that's right. There's no more pennies. But that's a fun trip down memory lane,
Yeah,
man. That was a
absolutely.
lot of fun. And I don't know. I guess as we get older, we'll have more of these conversations because there's just more and more things that are coming. And I think this particular list that you put together, Dan, is especially meaningful to us because there are a lot of heavy hitters from my youth.
I think it's shocking that the Dinosaur, the Boneyard, and It's Tough to Be a Bug, three great things that worked wonders for the animal kingdom, one of my favorite parks, are going.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens, and we can be optimistic and whatnot, but that's worrisome. That's worrisome to me because all three of those things worked well. You didn't need to touch them. You could have added on. You could have expanded. You could have fixed some things that weren't working quite as well. But those three things worked wonders.
There's other things they could have.
And I don't know how cost effective that is to wipe out something that people will still pay to see to build something else that you don't know will work.
Well, I think safe money is that Encanto will work.
Mm-hmm. But
Safe money is that Indy will be fine.
Yeah.
Replacing it's just I don't know. For me, who enjoyed what the Animal Kingdom was supposed to be about, to lose insects, to lose dinosaurs, we've lost mythical creatures.
What's funny about Indy is that it doesn't feel as relevant as say like Zootopia, and they're bringing it in.
You could always bring back a dinosaur.
A dinosaur is a dinosaur. It existed.
You bring back Indy. It's like that's not Indy.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the whole Hollywood Studios thing. Like it's Hollywood Studios now, but it used to be MGM Studios. I mean, when you think of what that park could have been, like we were rumored to be getting a Muppet Studios area. The only reason we didn't get it because Jim Henson passed away, so all you got was MuppetVision 3D. But you're supposed to be getting the Great Muppet Movie Ride. You're supposed to be getting Gonzo's Pizza Pandemonium Parlor and everything like that, the Hard Luck Cafe, all that stuff. There's going to be like a Hard Rock Cafe, but it's going to be Hard Luck Cafe. It is funny, but and then we're also supposed to be getting Maroon Studios with a Roger Rabbit connection, where you would go into Toontown and everything like that. Two studio areas that would have worked great in the park that's supposed to be celebrating studios and the movies. Would you rather that, or would you rather Pixar Land?
A hodgepodge,
or what is it? No, it's not even Pixar Land. It's Toy Story Land. It's Would you rather? Well, I mean, I guess it's a Galaxy's Edge, but even they I think, are acknowledging that Galaxy's Edge just isn't
working. Yeah, when you take the hotel and say, yeah, we'll put office buildings in there, that kind of society.
Well, once you say, hey, we're going to put a young Luke Skywalker into.
For your
but now this is in California, but you're not worried about the timeline anymore.
No, that's fair.
You gave up on that.
Should have been up in there.
Right.
Been up in there. If Darth Vader was in there, if your dad in there, your son should be in there too.
I'm just saying, imagine a Hollywood Studios where you had that whole Roger Rabbit Toontown area. You had the Muppet Studios.
I like the studios part, and you took me back to a different point too. Like I missed. What was it, that Animators Alley when you could go in and watch the cats
God,
draw everything?
So cool. Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't Animators Alley.
Academy.
Yes.
Animation Academy.
Yeah.
Like
that was cool.
You triggered that moment, but like I would take that because that is fully inclusive. Like that's something that says, hey, look, not only are you seeing the product as it's happening, but you have a chance to kind of see some behind the scenes stuff, things that wouldn't happen normally on television, movies, YouTube, whatever. It's only happening here. Whereas the other stuff like Galaxy's Edge and like Matcha stuff is not terrible, but it's an extension of something that you could watch on Disney Plus or whatever. So it's not exclusive to the park, is what I'm saying.
No, absolutely. And that's the problem, is that, you've got Animal Kingdom getting further away from its design. Hollywood Studios has gotten way away from its design.
Yeah.
Oh, good God.
And so, you got two parks that are thematically adrift.
Look, all I know is it sounds like we got a next set of Theming Wars episodes coming down the pipe. Although some of these things...
Maybe we got to just figure out which park is most thematically adrift, Animal Kingdom or Hollywood Studios.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh, that's a good question.
That could be a good show. Yeah. Look, all these thoughts, let us know what you think. What are some things that you're going to miss out of the recent closures that took place? We'd love to hear that. Even love to hear your advanced thoughts on what Danny just proposed. We'll probably talk about that on another show. That requires some thinking. But yeah, get in touch with us. Share us your thoughts. They're always welcome on the show, and we're about to tell you how to do that in just a little bit. Well, y'all, we hope you enjoyed that discussion of attractions we're going to miss from all the stuff that has recently closed. Look, if you want to learn more about us, follow us on any social media platform. Also, if you want to get in touch with us and share your opinions on anything we've talked about today, you can do so through the following ways. First of all, shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com or call or send us a text message. I did say text us at 1-815-MOWEEKEND. That is 1-815-MOWEEKEND 669-4226. And of course, we have a couple of people do things outside of the podcast. First of all, we got Eli does things with comics. What's up, sir?
That's it. As always, I appreciate the Weekends for their support. Ivory Comics, that's where you can find. You can Google it. You'll know what's going on right there. When you hit that website, you're going to see all the work that I do. Project Geisha, Savages, and the Molly Be Damned. All work is fully colored, at least 48 pages. That's more for your buck than what the big two could give you. You'll also see interviews and blog posts, and of course, a link to the Magic Our Way podcast. So you never miss a beat. You never miss an episode. You never miss what was missed because it's going away. So as always, I appreciate the support there. ivorycomics.com. On social media, Facebook, you can find me there. Eli H. Ivory. As long as you're a real person, it's a pleasure to meet you. If you're a bot, I do not need to greet you. Please stop trying to tell me how I could buy some Iceland like real estate out there in Portugal. I don't believe it. No, thank you, Mr. Bot. Also on Facebook, there's a Project Geisha fan page on facebook.com/Project Geisha. Also on Instagram, I'm right there posting up the hearts and the likes and seeing what you guys got. Ivory504 is how you can find me there. And of course on X, I can be found at Hancock10166. So yes, if you appreciate the madness, you're just bringing me the gladness. Thank you very much.
And if you want to book a vacation to catch some things before they close, like MuppetVision 3D or It's Tough to Be a Bug, which is actually soon, you can book them with Rachel. Rachel, tell them how to do this.
Yes, I would be honored to help your group book a trip to anywhere you'd like to go. I specialize in Disney destinations, so that's both coasts, Disneyland and Disney World, but I also do Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, Aulani, any of the beach resorts like Hilton Head or Vero Beach, Universal trips, cruise lines, and major hotel brands around the world. You can reach me at Rachel, RACHEL at magicourway.com. You can also reach me by phone. You can text me, send a voicemail, and that number is 978-432-WISH, WISH. You can find me on social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, and you can find me there at Our Family Magic. That's the letter R and then Family Magic all put together as one word. So those are all the ways to find me. And again, the best part about booking with me is that it costs you literally nothing extra. It's the exact same amount as you would pay if you booked it on your own, except you get an ally, a travel advocate like me, and I can help as much or as little as you want. And a piece of your vacation cost comes back to support this podcast and this fan community at no expense to you. And so why not? I can help as much or as little as you like. So please reach out. I'm excited to hear from you.
You want to be their travel Jedi.
I want to be your travel Jedi. That's right.
Master, yes.
Yes.
This is the agent you are looking.
These are not the snacks you want.
Yes, I know all of those things. There are definitely. I actually just had a client this week that booked their lightning lanes, and they were like, "How does it look?" And I popped in to do their client pack, and I was like, "Guess what? Great job, but Monsters Inc. does not require a lightning lane.
Oh,
wow.
So
man.
let's replace that for Buzz Lightyear." And they were like, "Awesome, thanks for the feedback." So see, like it can be really helpful to have somebody. You just don't know if you haven't been before.
Ooh, that could be a fun show, like mistakes
just
that your
have some-
clients have made.
Yeah, just have somebody like give you a second look.
Yeah.
No, because
rename
Rachel's very discreet. She will not name the mistakes her clients made.
Right.
I
But
don't. I actually, and I really try to respect people's space, and so I only do that kind of stuff if people ask me to.
Right.
but
I don't want to jump in there and be like, "Excuse me."
Look, y'all, if you want to elevate your support of all of this, man, go to patreon.com
And why would you?
/magic
That's
our
so
way.
wrong.
It's the best.
Oh my
Support
God.
us. Well, I got another option. It only costs a minute or so of your time to leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts and wherever you access our show, whether it is YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, etc. Any way in which you can support the show is deeply appreciated. We also want to thank you for being a loyal listener, and we always love hearing from our listeners. All opinions are always welcome in the Magic Our Way podcast, so make sure you get in touch with us today. So we say Kwahirini, my name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.
All right, nachos are on plates.
And yar. Bye.